So I thought I was gonna be trying to get my life together and just my room is a mess. I don't know if y'all can see my room is kind of a mess. And I'm sitting here trying to clean up my bathroom and let's watch Impressive. Let's listen to some, what's going on in the world. Of course, the first thing that pops up is Brian Mcknight. And I thought I could listen to it and I could watch it, except for I got to the other room and I swore to God I was hearing my father. That is exactly the same way that my father talks to me. Cold, disconnected. If he's not cold and disconnected, he's angry. And I think most of that has to do with how he feels about my mother. And I just can't for the life of me understand. And what terrifies me the most, I could be dying. At one point I was dying. I did almost die when I was 27. RSV is no joke when you're not, a child or, elderly. I stopped breathing twice. But I feel like he would almost be glad that I'm dead. He would feel some sort of release of me being gone. And I just can't wrap my mind around it. But something that seems to be a common denominator with these people or these men that say, I don't have a relationship with my other children, they have stepchildren. They have stepchildren and biological children with their current wife. And they do everything they can to be the greatest dads to the children that they are quote unquote proud of. I don't think they ever stop to think that maybe they're proud of those children because they have nothing to do with the women that actually broke your heart. Like, I've listened to my stepsister say that she wouldn't spit on my dad if he was on fire. I have listened to my stepsister say that good luck because it's going to be you or JD, it won't be me. And if she is doing anything to help him out or to take care of him, it's because of her mother. So she doesn't have to. What I don't understand. Because nothing I've ever done warranted this. Even Brian Mcknight's kids openly admitted that they were bad children. I was not a bad child. I look back on my childhood and the things that I did. I was a kid. I was a kid. I stole $7 off of the counter before. I had a boy in the house just like anybody else. I never snuck out, never did drugs, never straight out cussed my parents out. Like, not until I was grown. I definitely cussed his ass out once I was grown. Didn't put hands on my parents. Never took anything from them. But every single opportunity, and I have to say they because, and I love my mom and I'm so sad she's gone, but she had moments where she was the same way. Where the only solution they could see in getting me to do what they wanted me to do was taking. And that included their love and their affection. That boy was on his deathbed and all he wanted was a hug from his father. All he wanted, and he knew he couldn't get the hug, so all he wanted to know was that his dad loved him. Even if it was a lie. Even if, and my dad, he's a liar. We know he's a liar. He's admitted to lying about things. Even if it was a lie, why couldn't you give that boy that? And it's so similar to my own situation, and I'm just sitting here like, the last time I saw my father, he called the police on me. I was down in my hometown for a funeral. And I went to his barbecue truck. And the first day, he gave me a free plate. Second day, he gave me a free plate. But he won't talk to me. He'll give me free food, but he won't talk to me. And I say, okay, well, if I'm never going to see you again, can I get a hug from my father? Can I have a hug from my dad if I'm never going to see you again? And I was like, and I'll sit here and wait and give you time to think about it. Straight up told me no. Straight up told me that me nor my little brother has ever done anything to make him proud. What he saw and what he wanted for his children, I don't understand the idea of a narcissist that make you think that everything you got is so much better or should be so much better than everybody else. But we were supposed to be better than my stepsister. All of the achievements that she had, we were supposed to have 2-3 times more of them. And I still feel like even if we did all of that, what would we have? The only thing my stepsister has that she can say she truly got on her own is her degree. And even then, you can't say that she got it on her own because of the loans and all of that stuff. The money that had to get taken out, the money that had to get given from her grandparents, the loans that Miss Cassandra had to take out, the loans that my dad had to help her with. And to say that he ain't help her with nothing is... This man cashed out my college fund. Bought me a $500 computer. Threw me a graduation dinner at J. Alexander's. Gave my stepsister some money as well. Weird. And then proceeds to purchase an entire barbecue trailer. Now the thing is, I never sued my dad. And I still can sue him. Because Florida does have very strict laws about where educational funds go. He cashed the money out. And he keeps thinking, well, I paid Grammy back. He don't know that I know that the money that he was putting in her account every month actually went to his truck payment. Because, yes, my grandmother had to co-sign that truck as well. Everything this man got, he's gotten nothing 100% on his own. Like, I'm really sitting here taking a look at it. Around every curb, around every strife, around every piece of turmoil that came his way, there was always somebody to help him. There wasn't always somebody to help me. The people that were supposed to help me turned their back on me. All of the men that were supposed to protect me didn't. There's no reason why from my household, and I can't believe I'm about to say this out loud, but who's really going to watch it? From my household, coming from where I came from, there's no reason why I should be able to say that I was raped twice before the age of 25. One of those times while I was still living in my father's house. Zero protection. And zero safety net to feel comfortable enough to come tell people what the fuck happened, because you know they're going to blame you. They're going to call you a hoe. They're going to say that you did everything wrong. Last time I saw my father, he called me ran through. I have been in a relationship for the last 9 years. I've been with the same man for the last 9 years. I don't fuck off. So I could remember going to Florida during the pandemic when I first got down there. And this man, he's like, all right. He's like, you seem like you have a plan. Gave me $200. Took me, got my, filled up my truck. And on the way to fill up my truck, he's sitting here telling me, Your mama was a hoe, your daddy was a hoe, recovering hoe, but a hoe nonetheless. Your granddaddy was a hoe, and I feel like your Grammy was a bit of a hoe too. This is, mind you, a month before Grammy dies. This is like, no, let me stop lying. This is like 2 months before my Grammy dies, and he's talking about something, she was a hoe. No, she was the first lady of a fucking church, and she never cheated on my grandfather. And if she did, she didn't get caught. And if she did, she actually deserved to, because granddaddy, pastor of the church, was a hoe, a wife beating ass hoe. As much as I love him, I love the side of him that I knew. I didn't know the side that was slapping my grandma up every so often. And I didn't know that when he was taking me in his truck, riding around the town, and he was stopping by these ladies' houses to pray for them. And I'm sitting in the car. Never knew that that's what my Grammy was protecting me from, because if he was watching me, that's what was going to be happening. Like, I know I'm sitting here ranting and raving and I'm just letting it all out, but this ain't even a quarter of it. I could not listen to the rest of that video and listen to quotes from him, by him, because that fake ass calm voice, that I do not live in the past. Yes, you do. That's why my dad, every time he looks at me, he sees my mother. I swear to God, it looked like he had saw a ghost. For the first time in my life, this man actually looked scared. He tried to close the door in my face, and I flung that bitch open, and he couldn't fight me against it. And he backed up and was nervous. Why are you nervous? Why is everything okay and fun and games as long as you can beat Danielle ass? But if you can't beat Danielle ass, or you feel weaker in the situation, all of a sudden you backing off. All of a sudden you're afraid and you need to call the police. It's all right. I know. I'm good. She's trained as an emotional support animal, and she feel me hyped up, so she want to make sure I'm good. It's all right. It's all right. I just don't get it. All I have to say is we're not the evil ones, because he's sitting here mad at a public statement, or mad at a lawsuit because of defamation. One thing that has never happened with me and my father, for as many people that know my family name in South Florida, for as many people that know me, it has never gotten back to me that he done said some crazy shit. And the thing is, he can't say crazy shit about me because, again, I can sue him. Defamation of character is a motherfucker, and at the end of the day, why haven't I been sued yet? I straight up told the truth and told my whole family on Facebook what happened. I ain't got no lawsuit. I ain't got no defamation. And if he ever wanted to come after me about it, my mom just died. Of course she left me something. You could never come after me for defamation because what you did was actually true. And guess what? You are so nervous about people actually going and tracking those transactions. You gave Mr. Ernie $11,000. How convenient that was $11,066 that was in my college account. So convenient. This man, when I say this man, I mean Brian Mcknight, had the nerve to say that his daughter had an incestuous relationship with her cousin. Publicly, out loud. Publicly and out loud. And then to tell me that I forced my Grammy to cash that money out. Prove it. Prove it. At the time, he lucky I didn't sue him at the time while my mother was still alive, because she was just as confused. I can remember going into my mom's room saying how I did not want my grandma to do that, but she knew where I lived in North Carolina. It was a country ass town and I needed a car. I'm 18 years old, no car in the middle of nowhere. So she was like, we're going to try to finance you a car, but I might not be able to finance a car. And I was confused. I was very much so confused. Come to find out, she couldn't finance the car for me because she had just co-signed for my dad. Just co-signed for his 2013. Brand new. Got the 2013 and 2012. Blacked out. But then when it came time to do for me, that's why she was so... I can remember her being... She actually cussed. And my Grammy don't cuss. My Grammy do not cuss. But she started fussing, and she don't fuss either. She's very calm. But she was fussing and cussing not only about her youngest son draining her dry, but also her oldest son. They always used her as a backup plan if something went wrong. But for some reason, their children can't do the same. Their children can't do the same. And then my uncle gonna tell me just apologize. I'm like, apologize for what? For airing out family laundry. I aired out family laundry when my dad called me, harassing me, trying to use me as a fucking therapist. And then he kept calling me my stepmother's name. And then I had to call her and tell her, can you please tell him to stop calling me to use me for therapy? And she said he's supposed to be downstairs getting the lawnmower ready to cut the grass. No, he's downstairs in the garage getting drunk calling me. And then he comes up the stairs because I guess he was calling me while I was on the phone with her and I wasn't answering the phone. So guess what his smart ass does? Runs up the stairs to try to catch it. And he's like, who you on the phone with? Hang up the phone. Give me the phone. Hang up the phone. And she's like, Joe, no. And then he also, that in that same situation later on, told the same fiance that he was like gung-ho about, told him to eat shit and die. And that was all because my fiance told him, text him from his phone, I could not, I'm like, if my father ever spoke to my sisters the way you speak to Danielle, he would be dead. Period. And my daddy told him to eat shit and die. He says everything that he's ever done to me has been reactionary to what we've done to him. Everything that I've done to my dad, I did before I was 18. The worst thing I ever did to my father. There's two things. One on a respect note, one on a financial note. I ran up a $700 phone bill with a long distance boyfriend when I was 13, 14 years old. It was this dude that I would talk to all night, all day when I could. And guess what? I was lonely and I didn't kill myself then. I wasn't lonely. Everything was cool. And even then, I can remember then, homie proved that he was the same age as me. He's like, this is a site for kids. This is a site for, me and him both have the AOL kids symbol on our thing. Now, granted, people can perpetrate. He showed his mother and him. His mother and him. I have spoken to his mother. He really was just a kid and he was lonely. And I was a kid and I was lonely. He called him a grown-ass man and a pedophile. And this boy called me crying, like, when we did finally talk again. To be called a pedophile and not be one, that does hit different and it does hurt a lot, even for a child, because you know what the word means. And now you got to grow up having this in your head. Like, his mom's pissed off. Everybody in the situation pissed off. And my dad running around thinking he right. Regardless, he still had to pay his $700 phone bill because of that. Because the long distance charges back in the day. Y'all don't know nothing about that. And then, when he took my pen pal away, I was 14, turning 15 years old. And I met a man. I go over my life and I'm like, oh my God. Instead of being with a boy, I did end up being with a grown ass man. His name was Rashad. He was Jamaican, and he was, you know, he was 6'4", big hands. Like, this man, like, let's really piss Joe off up in here. This man used to put me over his shoulder and carry me up the stairs. Okay? Like, this man used to do stuff with me. Like, he's the only dude that I ever been able, like, I ever felt like a normal sized girl with. Every man treats me like I'm the size that I am. Him? My dad, by that time in my life, I had been told that I was going to die alone, that no one would ever love me, that my personality was the problem, and if everybody's saying this and that, then it got to be you. And I'm like, no, everybody's saying this and that because it's easier to say that than to go against you and tell you you're wrong. If I was everything that my dad said I was, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Thank God for Mom, because, you know, she gave all this bread for us to be able to do this. But she knew what it was in 2019. She knew what it was. She kept telling me I don't have an entrepreneurial spirit like you and JD. That's another thing. For him to say that me nor my brother has ever done anything to make him proud, granted, me and my brother don't get along either. He's a junior, acts just like the nigga. But he made a career out of something he loved, just like I did. I rent out cars, and I ride share. He sells Hot Wheels. He legit sells Hot Wheels. We both took things that we were passionate about and turned it into something profitable. Like, fathers like mine are exactly how girls end up being hoes and being out here dirty and being crazy. Because we sit here and feel like nobody loves us, nobody wants us. And so when somebody do come around loving and wanting us, we fall for the dumb shit. And I'm like, you told me I was going to die alone. Like, why? I was like, I'm not ugly. He's like, no, you're not ugly. I'm like, there are people out there that like big women. You just don't. I can't tell you how many times my father has told me, like literally looked me up and down and told me, I don't know, you just not my cup of tea. Is that weird to anybody else but me? Because I'm not supposed to be. I'm your daughter. Like, I'm going to end it off there. If y'all want to know anything else, details, whatever, if y'all care, let me know.